For decades, China was seen as a manufacturing hub for global automakers, assembling cars for Western giants like Volkswagen, General Motors, and Ford. But in the past 20 years, a silent revolution has taken place, one that has turned China from an assembler into a dominant force in the global automobile industry. Today, China is not just the largest car market in the world, but also a leader in electric vehicle, EV, production, battery technology, and automotive exports. This transformation wasn't accidental. It was a carefully orchestrated strategy that combined government support, rapid industrialization, and relentless innovation. One of the biggest catalysts behind China's rise in the EV market has been government subsidies. Unlike the West, where EV adoption was left largely to market forces, China took a radical approach, pumping billions of dollars into subsidies, tax breaks, and incentives for both automakers and consumers. The Chinese government saw EVs not just as a technological breakthrough, but as a national security and energy independence strategy. By shifting away from oil dependency, where the country was vulnerable to global price fluctuations, China ensured that the future of mobility would be powered by electricity, not gasoline. The result? A hyper-accelerated EV industry, where local brands could thrive without being crushed by established Western competitors. In just a decade, Chinese companies have leapfrogged the competition, creating some of the most advanced EVs in the world. Among them, BYD, Build Your Dreams, has emerged as the undisputed leader, even surpassing Tesla in global EV sales. Once mocked as a budget car brand, BYD has now become a symbol of China's automotive dominance, manufacturing affordable yet highly efficient EVs with cutting-edge battery technology. Unlike Tesla, which relies on third-party suppliers for batteries, BYD produces its own batteries, giving it a massive cost advantage. But BYD is just one piece of the puzzle. Companies like NIO, XPeng, and Geely are redefining what Chinese cars can be. NIO, often called the Tesla of China, has revolutionized the industry with its battery swapping technology, allowing drivers to replace their car's battery in just minutes instead of waiting hours for a charge. Meanwhile, XPeng is pushing the boundaries of autonomous driving, aiming to rival Tesla's full self-driving FSD system. Geely, on the other hand, has gone global, owning major stakes in Volvo, Lotus, and Polestar, proving that Chinese companies are not just competing at home but expanding their footprint worldwide. China's strategy has worked. In 2023, over 60% of the world's EVs were made in China, and the country now exports millions of cars to Europe, Southeast Asia, and even Latin America. Western automakers, once confident that China would remain just a manufacturing hub, are now scrambling to catch up. The tables have turned, and the race is no longer about who can build the best gasoline car, it's about who will control the future of electric mobility. And right now, China is leading the charge.
For years, the U.S. auto industry was defined by giants like Ford and General Motors, companies that shaped the global car market with their powerful gas-powered vehicles. But in the past decade, Tesla has rewritten the rules of the game, transforming from a niche startup into the undisputed leader of the EV revolution. Unlike traditional automakers that viewed EVs as a side experiment, Elon Musk bet everything on electric cars, and won. Today, Tesla isn't just an automaker, it's a technology powerhouse, leading in battery efficiency, charging networks, and autonomous driving software. Tesla's impact on the global EV market is impossible to ignore. It didn't just make electric cars cool, it forced the entire auto industry to accelerate their EV plans or risk extinction. The company's gigafactories in the US, China, and Europe have made EV production faster and cheaper, while Tesla's supercharger network remains the gold standard for EV infrastructure. Its vehicles, from the Model S and Model 3 to the Cybertruck, have shattered the perception that EVs are slow, boring, or impractical. In 2023, Tesla delivered more than 1.8 million vehicles worldwide, making it the largest EV producer outside of China. But Tesla's dominance hasn't gone unchallenged. Ford, General Motors, GM, and other legacy automakers have finally woken up to the EV era, pumping billions into electric vehicle production. Ford, for instance, has made aggressive moves with its F-150 Lightning, the electric version of America's best-selling truck, while GM is betting big on its Ultium battery platform, which promises to power a new generation of EVs. These companies have the brand loyalty, dealership networks, and production capacity to scale EVs in a way Tesla never could. However, they are still struggling with software, battery supply chains, and manufacturing efficiency, areas where Tesla holds a significant lead. Government policy is another major battleground. The Biden administration has aggressively pushed for EV adoption, introducing tax incentives, subsidies, and emissions regulations to force the industry toward electrification. The Inflation Reduction Act, IRA, for example, offers EV tax credits of up to $7,500 for cars built with American-made batteries and components, creating a direct incentive to boost U.S. manufacturing. But this has also sparked tensions with foreign automakers, especially those in China, as the U.S. aims to reduce dependency on Chinese battery materials. Despite its lead, Tesla faces growing challenges. Rising competition from China, slowing demand for EVs, and ongoing production issues could impact its future growth. And while Musk's ambitions with full self-driving, FSD, and AI-powered vehicles remain unmatched, Tesla's biggest test is yet to come. Can it remain the king of EVs in an industry that is now evolving faster than ever? Elon Musk has built Tesla into the world's most valuable automaker, but much of that success is tied to a country that is both Tesla's biggest opportunity and its biggest risk, China. While the U.S. remains Tesla's home base, China is the largest EV market in the world, and Musk knows that to stay ahead, he must play both sides carefully. This has put him in a unique and often controversial position, as he navigates the increasingly hostile relationship between the U.S. and China while keeping Tesla's global expansion on track. One of the biggest reasons Tesla has been able to scale so quickly is its Shanghai Gigafactory, a facility that has become the heart of Tesla's global supply chain. Opened in 2019, this factory was built in record time and has since become the company's most productive plant, capable of producing over 1 million cars per year. The Shanghai plant is crucial for Tesla, not just because it serves the massive Chinese market, but also because it is a key export hub, shipping vehicles to Europe, Australia, and beyond. Without it, Tesla's global supply chain would be severely weakened, giving competitors, especially Chinese EV makers like BYD, a massive advantage. But this reliance on China is a double-edged sword. On one hand, Tesla benefits from lower production costs, government incentives, and access to China's advanced battery technology. On the other hand, it makes the company vulnerable to political and economic risks. If U.S.-China relations worsen, Tesla could face tariffs, restrictions, or even government-imposed limitations on its Chinese operations. In a worst-case scenario, Beijing could use Tesla as a bargaining chip in trade negotiations, putting Musk in a difficult position. Musk's approach to managing this geopolitical tightrope has been both strategic and controversial. Unlike other Western CEOs who are openly critical of China, Musk has maintained a friendly relationship with Beijing, often praising China's work ethic and innovation. He has visited China multiple times, met with high-ranking officials, and even secured special government permissions that other foreign automakers could only dream of. While this has helped Tesla expand rapidly in China, it has also drawn criticism from U.S. lawmakers, who see Musk's coziness with Beijing as a potential national security concern. At the same time, Musk is also navigating increasing scrutiny from the U.S. government. With the Biden administration pushing for more American-made EVs and reducing reliance on Chinese components, Tesla is being pulled in opposite directions. Musk must balance his global ambitions with domestic political realities, ensuring that Tesla can thrive in both the East and the West without becoming a casualty of global tensions. This delicate balancing act defines Musk's strategic position in the auto industry today. His ability to play both sides, maintain diplomatic ties, and continue expanding Tesla's reach will determine whether Tesla remains the dominant EV force or becomes trapped in the crossfire of a new economic Cold War. For decades, China was known as the world's factory, producing goods at unbeatable prices for global markets. But today, China isn't just manufacturing cars for foreign brands, it's aggressively exporting its own electric vehicles, EVs, to markets worldwide, shaking up the global auto industry. With its ability to mass-produce high-quality EVs at low costs, China is now undercutting Western automakers and forcing them into a battle they may not be prepared to win. The key to China's success lies in its low-cost EV production. Chinese automakers benefit from government subsidies, cheaper labor, and a well-developed supply chain, particularly in battery production. China controls over 70% of the world's battery manufacturing and dominates the lithium supply chain, allowing companies like BYD, NIO, XPeng, and Geely to produce EVs faster and cheaper than their Western rivals. While American and European automakers struggle with high production costs and slow innovation, Chinese brands are delivering affordable yet technologically advanced EVs at an unprecedented scale. This advantage is now being felt across global markets, as Chinese automakers rapidly expand their footprint beyond Asia. Europe, in particular, has become a major battleground. BYD, SAIC, the maker of MG, and Great Wall Motors are flooding the European market with cheaper, well-equipped EVs, forcing traditional giants like Volkswagen, BMW, and Renault to rethink their pricing strategies. In Southeast Asia, Chinese automakers are dominating countries like Thailand, Indonesia, and Malaysia, where affordable EVs are crucial for mass adoption. Even in Latin America, Chinese brands are capturing market share in places like Brazil, Mexico, and Argentina, offering low-cost EVs that appeal to price-sensitive consumers. For Western car manufacturers, this wave of Chinese exports presents an existential crisis. Companies like Ford, GM, and Stellantis are already struggling to profit from EVs due to high production costs and supply chain issues. Now, they face an even bigger challenge: competing with Chinese EVs that are often 30 to 50% cheaper. Some European leaders, including French President Emmanuel Macron, have called for tariffs on Chinese EV imports, while the US has imposed strict regulations to block them. But whether governments can stop the flood of Chinese EVs remains to be seen. One thing is clear: China's EV export strategy is reshaping the global auto industry. With its cost advantage, technological edge, and aggressive expansion, China is positioning itself as the dominant player in the future of electric mobility. The question now is whether Western automakers can adapt quickly enough, or if they will be left behind in a market they once controlled. As China's electric vehicle (EV) industry surges ahead, the U.S. government has stepped up efforts to counter Chinese dominance, implementing tariffs, trade restrictions, and aggressive policies aimed at protecting American automakers. But in a globalized economy, these moves come with consequences, and the battle over EV supremacy is quickly becoming a high-stakes geopolitical struggle rather than just an economic competition. One of the most direct measures taken by the U.S. is the imposition of tariffs on Chinese-made EVs. The Trump administration first introduced tariffs on Chinese imports in 2018, and while the Biden administration has kept these in place, there is growing pressure to increase them further. The goal is clear: make it harder for Chinese automakers to enter the U.S. market and undercut American brands. But this strategy has a catch, because many Western automakers, including Tesla, rely on Chinese supply chains. Stricter trade policies could disrupt their own production costs, making EVs more expensive for American consumers. A key element of the U.S. response is the Inflation Reduction Act, IRA, signed into law in 2022, which has reshaped the auto industry's incentives and tax benefits. The IRA offers EV tax credits of up to $7,500, but with strict conditions. Eligible vehicles must be assembled in North America, and their batteries must source a significant portion of materials from the U.S. or allied countries. This is a direct attempt to exclude Chinese EVs and battery components from benefiting. While this policy has helped push automakers like Ford and GM to expand battery manufacturing within the U.S., it has also created tensions with foreign automakers and trade partners who rely on Chinese suppliers. Even Tesla, which benefits from the tax credits, faces challenges as it continues to source many components from China. Beyond economics, the U.S. government has raised national security concerns over Chinese-made smart vehicles. As EVs become more software-driven, with features like autonomous driving, real-time data tracking, and AI integration, they pose potential risks if manufactured by companies with ties to the Chinese government. U.S. lawmakers worry that Chinese EVs, equipped with advanced sensors and connectivity, could be used for data collection and surveillance, much like concerns raised over Huawei's role in 5G networks. The fear is that cars could become Trojan horses, sending critical data back to China on American infrastructure, roads, and even driver habits. These national security concerns have led to discussions about potential bans on Chinese smart vehicles, as well as tighter regulations on foreign car technology. The Biden administration is considering further export controls on key EV components and blocking Chinese investment in American battery production. Meanwhile, Europe is also weighing its own restrictions, fearing that an influx of cheap, high-tech Chinese EVs could weaken its own auto industry. The U.S. government's response to Chinese auto dominance is shaping the future of the global car market. While tariffs, restrictions, and the IRA are designed to protect domestic manufacturing, they also risk slowing down innovation and making EVs more expensive for American consumers. At the same time, national security fears over Chinese smart vehicles add another layer of complexity, turning the EV race into not just an economic battle, but a technological and geopolitical one as well. The technological race: batteries, AI, and automation. The future of the automobile industry isn't just about who can make the best electric vehicles, EVs. It's about who can develop the most advanced technology to power them. In this high-stakes race, three key areas are defining the global battle: battery innovation, artificial intelligence, AI, and automation. While Tesla and the US push for breakthroughs in self-driving and AI-powered cars, China has taken a commanding lead in battery production and raw material control, making it the undisputed powerhouse of the EV revolution. Battery innovation, the real battlefield of the EV war. At the heart of every electric car is its battery, and whoever controls battery technology controls the EV industry. The biggest challenge for automakers is to develop batteries that are cheaper, longer lasting, and faster to charge, the three pillars that determine an EV success. While Tesla pioneered lithium-ion battery efficiency, China has overtaken the West in both production capacity and cost-effectiveness. China's CATL, Contemporary Amperex Technology Company Limited, and BYD are the two largest battery producers in the world, supplying not just Chinese automakers but also Tesla, BMW, Volkswagen, and Ford. Chinese companies have mastered the production of lithium iron phosphate, LFP, batteries, which are cheaper, safer, and more durable than traditional lithium-ion batteries. In contrast, US and European companies are still struggling to scale up domestic battery production, making them heavily dependent on Chinese suppliers. Tesla, however, isn't backing down. The company is developing next-generation battery technology, including its 4,680 battery cells, which promise higher energy density, lower costs, and better efficiency. Meanwhile, breakthroughs in solid-state batteries, a technology that could double EV range and eliminate fire risks, are being pursued by companies like QuantumScape, Toyota, and Samsung. The problem: these batteries are still years away from mass production, giving China a critical advantage in the short term. China's stranglehold on the lithium supply chain. Beyond battery production, China has also taken control of the entire supply chain for raw materials. The country dominates over 70% of the world's lithium refining, giving it a chokehold over EV production worldwide. The US and Europe are scrambling to secure alternative lithium sources in countries like Chile, Australia, and Canada, but the process of mining and refining these materials takes time. Meanwhile, China is expanding its global influence by investing in lithium-rich countries, ensuring it remains the dominant force in battery materials for the foreseeable future. Tesla's push for self-driving and AI-powered cars. While China leads in battery innovation, Tesla is making a massive bet on artificial intelligence, AI, and full self-driving, FSD, technology. Unlike traditional automakers, which rely on third-party software for automation, Tesla is building its AI-powered self-driving system in-house, using a neural network that constantly learns and improves from real-world driving data. Musk has repeatedly stated that Tesla's future isn't just as a car company, it's an AI and robotics company. The company's Dojo supercomputer, designed to process massive amounts of video data from Tesla's fleet, is training its FSD system to navigate real-world roads with minimal human input. While the technology is still not fully autonomous, Tesla's AI-driven approach is years ahead of traditional automakers who rely on LiDAR-based systems instead of vision-based AI models. However, China isn't ignoring the AI race. Companies like XPeng and Huawei are developing their own autonomous driving technologies, and the Chinese government is aggressively pushing smart infrastructure that could give Chinese EVs an advantage in AI-powered mobility. If China successfully integrates 5G, AI, and smart city networks into its EV ecosystem, it could create an environment where Chinese self-driving cars operate more efficiently than their Western counterparts. The race for the future. Who will win? The battle between China and the US in EV technology is no longer just about cars, it's about technological supremacy. China's control of battery production, raw materials, and manufacturing gives it a massive short-term advantage, while Tesla's focus on self-driving AI, automation, and next-generation batteries could shape the long-term future of mobility. But the real question is, will the US and its allies catch up before China cements its dominance? The outcome of this technological race will determine not just who leads the auto industry, but who controls the future of transportation itself. Elon Musk's biggest risks and challenges. Elon Musk has built Tesla into the world's most influential electric vehicle (EV) company, but as the industry evolves, his challenges are growing. Tesla's dominance is being threatened on multiple fronts, from its over-reliance on China to rising competition from BYD, and even financial pressures stemming from a volatile global economy. While Musk has always been known for taking bold risks, these challenges could define whether Tesla remains the leader or starts to fall behind in the next phase of the EV revolution. Tesla's dependence on China, a growing risk. One of the biggest vulnerabilities for Tesla is its heavy dependence on China, a market that has fueled its rapid expansion but also poses serious geopolitical risks. The Shanghai Gigafactory, which opened in 2019, has become Tesla's most productive plant, supplying more than 50% of Tesla's global production. It plays a crucial role in keeping Tesla profitable, as China's lower production costs allow the company to maintain strong profit margins even as EV prices drop. But what happens if US-China relations take a turn for the worse? With rising tensions over trade, technology restrictions, and national security concerns, Tesla's Chinese operations could become a target in a geopolitical battle. If Beijing decides to impose export restrictions, limit Tesla's operations, or favor domestic brands like BYD and NIO, it could cripple Tesla's supply chain and revenue stream. On the other side, the U.S. government is increasing its scrutiny of American companies that rely on Chinese production, which could pressure Tesla to reduce its China exposure, something that's easier said than done. Musk has taken a careful diplomatic approach, maintaining a positive relationship with Chinese officials while also securing special business privileges in China that other Western automakers don't have. However, no amount of diplomacy can fully insulate Tesla from the risks of a sudden policy shift or trade war. If Tesla loses its strategic foothold in China, it could see a major drop in production capacity, sales, and global market share. BYD, the biggest threat to Tesla's EV throne. For years, Tesla was the undisputed EV leader, but that has now changed. In Q4 2023, BYD officially surpassed Tesla in global EV sales, marking the first time a Chinese company has overtaken Musk's empire in its own industry. Unlike Tesla, which primarily focuses on premium and mid-range EVs, BYD has built its success by producing affordable, mass-market EVs that are dominating not just in China, but also in Europe, Latin America, and Southeast Asia. BYD's biggest advantage is its vertical integration. It produces its own batteries, chips, and key components, which gives it a huge cost advantage over Tesla. While Tesla still relies on external suppliers for many of its components, BYD has complete control over its supply chain, allowing it to undercut Tesla on pricing while maintaining profitability. Tesla has already been forced to slash prices multiple times in 2023 and 2024 to stay competitive, but this has eaten into its profit margins. Meanwhile, BYD's cheap yet high-quality EVs are expanding rapidly into Europe and other global markets, areas where Tesla previously had little competition from Chinese brands. If Tesla fails to counter BYD's cost advantage and global expansion, it could lose its position as the industry's most dominant force. Financial pressure and the global economic slowdown. On top of geopolitical risks and rising competition, Tesla is also dealing with financial pressure due to global economic slowdowns. High inflation, rising interest rates, and declining consumer spending have created an unstable market for EVs, especially in regions like the US and Europe, where demand is slowing down. Tesla has been forced to cut vehicle prices to maintain sales, but this strategy is squeezing profit margins. Investors have started questioning whether Tesla's rapid expansion and aggressive pricing strategies can remain sustainable. At the same time, production costs are rising, and Tesla's long-term profitability depends on scaling up new projects like the Cybertruck, Semi, and next-generation battery production. If these ventures don't meet expectations, Tesla's stock could take a major hit, impacting the company's ability to raise capital and expand further. Conclusion: can Musk navigate these challenges? Elon Musk has always been a risk-taker, but Tesla is now facing some of the biggest threats in its history. The company's dependence on China, the rise of BYD, and the financial strains of a changing economy all pose serious risks to Tesla's dominance. While Musk has successfully navigated challenges before, the road ahead is more uncertain than ever. To stay ahead, Tesla will need to diversify its supply chain, out-innovate its competitors, and find new ways to stay profitable in a tougher economic environment. Otherwise, the world's biggest EV disruptor might find itself being disrupted by the very forces it once dominated.